Thank you for watching a Brunch of Idiots podcast. You may notice that we reference a couple of episodes before this one, but they happen to not exist. That is because there were 2 episodes before this, but the audio issues were so egregious we could not release it for public consumption. Audio problems continue to persist up until, I believe, episode 5 or 6 from this one. So, with that being said, we hope that you still enjoy the first few pilot episodes of a Brunch of Idiots podcast, knowing that the audio problems do get fixed eventually. Thank you, and good brunch.
Was today.
It said, "Draw me like your French girl," and I went,
What French girls?
Why am I in this room?"
What's a girl?
I said, "What's a girl?" Last
I'm
thing
sorry,
I knew, it was all
draw
us
me-
jolly lads on this mode.
Draw me like a retreating girl. What?
It's like from a superhero movie where he's fighting the bad guy and he's like, titanium blades, they can cut through diamonds. And here it goes, I'm not wearing any diamonds.
Same.
Oh, help me. Help me.
How about what wins brunch? Where's brunch?
Brunch is in Beijing.
Do we want to
Beijing.
try that again?
No. We're so sorry, Beijing. We tried to pronounce how to say good brunch, and we're too American for that, unfortunately.
I wish I were better at tones. Bless you
Here,
all.
editors,
for
I'll
having
try
a
it. Cut it
really
out.
good-
Oh no.
Okay,
Okay.
go for it. We'll bleep it.
Yeah, there. See, I did it.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Get that, Beijing?
That was so good. That was so good.
You
So
sounded
good.
exactly like
Bleep me
Google that
out.
time.
Wow. That was just amazing. Bro.
I think that was the most
Lord.
perfect Mandarin I've ever heard, actually.
Well,
Beijing,
too
let
bad
us know in the
editors
comments.
bleep that out.
Yeah.
Gone forever.
Help.
Help.
You're the host. You can start this.
Oh, yeah, I'm the host. Okay. All right,
I've been
everybody.
recording this whole time.
Help. Okay. Hello, good brunch, and welcome to a Brunch of Idiots podcast. I almost did not say that right. It's a
Well,
good time. It's a good time.
In the title.
So, today, our topic, as I have chosen it, is bait and switch. Tell us about a time you have been baited and switched. And I can go first if people want to hear about mine. It happened to me recently.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
First of all, we need some context here, because if I just launch straight into this, I feel as though I'm going to be misunderstood. Recently,
Never a good way to start a story.
Recently, my Instagram For You page has just been filled with superhero stuff because of the launch of Marvel Rivals, I'm pretty sure. But it's not just Marvel stuff, it's DC stuff as well. So I've been getting a lot of specifically Batman stuff, right? Mostly like fan art and fan of comics and things of that nature. And one of the comics I saw was interesting because it was drawing a parallel between the MCU, the cinematic universe version of Peter Parker and Tony Stark's relationship with Batman's relationship with all of the Robins and all of the children that he, makes into child soldiers.
The
right?
orphans.
Yes. So, and it was attached to a link to a fanfic. And I was like, oh, this is something that I have not thought about or have ever been interested in, but I am now interested. So let me go and look at this kind of thing, because this seems to be like it would be interesting commentary, those two characters meeting. So I was reading some fanfics about it. There's the context, right?
Okay.
So I start one fanfic that was supposed to be, Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark interacting. And that was kind of the whole point of the fanfic.
Right.
So I get, one chapter in, and I'm like, the ending of this is very weird, because there's some weird religious context surrounding this one.
Please tell me Jesus shows up.
I don't know. I
Not
didn't
quite.
get that far. Hold on. It gets better.
Jesus
So
comes down in a
I
basket.
read another chapter, because this is like a 20 chapter monster fanfic, right? And the same thing happens towards the end of the chapter. There's this weird religious context. I get 5 chapters in, and it's like dropped onto me that Batman is Mormon in this fanfic.
Oh no!
You know, Tony Stark, the Book of Mormon really changed my life. It could help you with your alcoholism.
And that is exactly what it was.
You might get a planet in the next life.
I wanted a fanfic. I'm sorry. I wanted a fanfic about 2 billionaire superheroes interacting and the difference between their worlds, and I got Mormon Batman.
Tony Stark, have you considered Mormonism? Why? Because I'm Batman.
It was like, and it wasn't just Batman. It was the whole Bat fam, right?
Oh, they were all Mormon.
They were all Mormon. So you would have like Dick Grayson talking about, the Book of Moroni or whatever at the end of the chapter. And I was like, what is this? So yeah, I had to stop. I had to stop reading that one because it made me angry, because it wasn't in the tags of the fic either. It was literally a bait and switch. It was somebody using these characters as either some sort of weird evangelism avenue or their coping mechanism. I don't know, but they really wanted Batman to be Mormon, and he was really
Tony.
Mormon.
You know, Tony, Steve Rogers was telling me about this specific part in the book.
It was
I think you
really
should
bad.
read it.
It was really bad.
That's such brilliant marketing, but also like, is the missionary door to door, like the door knocking, not mission that you need
It's
to
Batman
It's-
into the Mormon verse.
I feel like people have started ignoring the knocking on the door-to-door Mormon salesman.
Well, yes, but like also like, I don't know. I feel like trying to shuffle the nerds in.
Look,
getting
all the weird kids on AO3, and I mean weird in the best way possible, as a weird kid. Not that weird, but the weird kid.
Ouch.
But also, like, when you think about it too, I know this is not nearly the same at all, but like, I learned that the author of Twilight is Mormon.
Yes, she is.
And I learned that for context as well. For me, I am an ex-Mormon. I was born and raised and then converted out. But I learned that while I was still a member of the church, and I remember thinking, I was like, "Huh?" Because I was very much raged on like this is evil. Monsters are wrong and they're evil, and magic is bad, and all this stuff. And then I learned that Twilight was written by a Mormon, a member of my own church, and I was like, "Huh? How is that possible?"
Do you want to know what's worse?
Yes, I love to know worse.
It's Mormon vampire fan fiction of 50 Shades of Grey.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
You hear a knock on the door, you open it. It's Batman and Edward wearing power ties.
You know, given this new revelation about Twilight, it explains a lot of the stuff that goes on at BYU, and I'm not going to say anything else. But like, if you know, you know.
I don't, and I guess I'll be told later.
I had.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
I initially didn't have a story for this, but you saying that kind of made me think of one that happened actually today, kind of along the same lines.
Oh, no.
So there are some trends I've seen sometimes on TikTok, and yes, I use TikTok, sue me, where there will be a slideshow of pictures about someone typing in like a AI generated like prompt, and then it'll show like the image, and it's usually them like going back and forth with like, produce this image of a man eating spaghetti. Oh, now he's eating more spaghetti, an infinite amount of spaghetti, and it's just constantly scaling to like push the limits or whatever. I saw one of those today where it was a man who was supposed to be lifting, like, it started off with like 100 pounds, and then it kept multiplying. It was like 1,000 pounds, and then it was like 10,000 pounds and 1,000,000 pounds, and then it was like a man carrying the weight of the world, and then it cut to a picture of Jesus carrying the cross.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, that's not where I thought this was going, but good on you for engaging marketing, because I was in that all the way to the end. I was so invested in this stupid AI trend, and I got sucked in. I got to the end. I was like, oh, you got me.
You done got me.
Well, that one was more effective than mine because I only got 5 chapters in.
But that's
Riley.
I'm not going to
go ahead.
Never mind.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna make a dumb joke, and I'm not going to because.
Rude.
Riley, you weren't reading a fan fiction. You were reading a book. It's a fan.
It is a fan fiction
book.
Who cares if it was 200,000 words? It's a fan fiction.
Lord, okay, 1 second. I need to. How many words are in the Lord of the Rings?
Dude is literally looking
Probably more than
480,000 words.
So it's like half of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Well, Lord of the Rings, do you consider that one book or 3 books?
Well, that is all 3 of the books combined is 480,000 words. So it is
one
more,
and a half.
It is more than one of the books. Riley.
I can read
That's
that
a
in
very
a day.
big fan
Actually,
fiction.
less than a day. It was somebody's manifesto, man. That's
Wait a
what
minute.
it is.
So this is not to promote any kind of religious commentary, even though we've kind of already towed our toes into that water. Could the Bible technically be considered just one big fanfic?
I mean, yes. But also, Dante's Inferno is fanfic of the Bible. So.
It's a fanficception.
It is.
Now we just need a fanfic of Dante's Inferno.
I
think there is
think
one.
there is
actually.
one.
No, I'd have to
Is
look
there?
into
Hold
it.
on.
While we're in doing research, I've also looked up how many words are in the Bible. This fanfic Riley read is a little over a quarter of the average amount of words in the KJV, the King James version.
Oh,
my.
no, Paradise Lost is also Bible fanfiction.
There's what was the other one with the people with the time traveling spaceship?
Huh?
Adventures in Odyssey.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is, yes. Man, time traveling space. You had me. I mean, I was like, oh no. Oh.
There are archives of Dante's Inferno fanfiction.
Interesting.
I'm not. So.
Anyhow, bait and switch.
Right, back to
I
bait
think
and
we bait and
switching.
switched ourselves. Hold up.
It's all Batman. Fault.
Wow. Podcast over. Goodbye. No.
Good brunch, y'all. All right.
Good brunch.
Highlights 8. I'm just kidding.
um.
Oh no.
Oh
He's up
goodness. I do have one that happened a lot when I was a kid. Does not happen so much now.
Wait, this has happened multiple times?
Yes, just
It's a reoccurring bait and
trust.
switch.
It's a reoccurring bait and switch.
Oh, this will be fun. I'm excited.
And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have had this kind of experience. Shopping.
Specifically with
shopping.
your mom.
Well, also
But
you
also me.
in some instances. And it'll probably happen whenever I'm married one day. I'm much better now. So what would happen is we would go shopping.
Huh.
And as a kid, I didn't have a say. I can't be left at home alone. So I obviously go. And in my little kid brain, it takes all day. And it just, it eats me away. I'm just like, I'm gone. Then I would hear from my mom. And then later on, Riley, when we were older, all right, we're getting out of here. And I'm like, oh, freedom, yes. And then they walk into another aisle and they're like, ooh, I need this. Or, hey, look at this. And it ends up being like another 30 minutes to an hour. When I was just told, oh, we're leaving. And we walk towards the door. And then we stop somewhere else. And it's like, oh, no, we're not. And then in later iterations, it was, hey, Aiden, we're going to go out and go get this one thing. It's like, all right, let's go. So then we go. We get the thing. Immediately turns around. Oh, look at this thing. I think we need this.
We're disorganized shoppers, my mother and I. So, well, unless we're like super on a mission, we'll go to the store and we'll be convinced, right, that we just need the one thing. Just the one thing. Like, we need toilet paper, you know? So we'll go to the store and we'll pick up toilet paper. And then I think, oh, well, now that I'm here, it would be a good idea to get something for dinner or something. And so I'll say, I'm sorry, Aiden, but there's also this one thing that I think we should get while we're here. And sometimes that one other thing ends up being another thing and another thing, because I don't keep a running list of things. I have to like see the thing in order to remember that I need the thing.
Right.
And so it ends up taking longer than the trip that a singular thing would take. Yeah. Shopping trips often are bait and switch that way. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sounds like this isn't as big an issue as I thought it was.
No, that's a vibe. I used to do the same thing as a kid, but I was just very impatient and hated just being out and about when I
Same.
could be at home doing other things, like hanging out with people I want to online.
Doing literally anything else?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Y'all ever have that kind of along the same lines, that moment when you're out with like parents and you're like with other people, whether it be like you were at someone else's house or maybe you're at church or some kind of gathering, whatever the case may be, and your parents are talking with some of the other parents and you're like actively trying to leave, and they're like doing that like parent shuffle where they're slowly getting closer to the exit, but they're still talking. And every time they move, it sparks another conversation that lasts like 15 to 20 minutes until you're at the door, you're outside of the door, you're standing in the door, and it sparks another conversation. And then suddenly you find yourself in the driveway, which sparks another conversation. And then you're at the car and you're actively in the car with the window rolled down, still talking.
So, from my
That's me.
experience and from what I've seen, this is a primarily southern thing because my parents, which are from the north, do not do this. And when people try to do this, my parents will do like one, maybe two conversations and then boot scoot. Like it.
That's what I try to do. I have a really hard time like exiting situations, like finding it. But once I do, I'm just like, okay, bye, and I leave.
Yeah.
See, I don't like
Wait.
actually leaving, even though I need to be like I have things that I need to do or a time I need to be home by. I will still continue talking with people, and this actually got me in trouble one time.
Right.
Here's one. This was not the story I was planning to tell, but I bait and switch somebody else
Oh
in this
boy.
story. So my parents, right? They were out of town. They had or either out of town or had some meeting or something they were going to go to, and so they had dropped me off at one of the youth groups I went to. It was in like high school, right?
Right.
And one of my mom's friends from work, that she used to work with before she retired, not my mom, my mom's friend, uh, it she was meant to pick me up after youth group, right? And well, because this was during the summer, this specific youth group we had a pool party after like the main like game and then message.
Right.
And so, well, not pool party. It was like every Monday. It was afterwards. And so we went to the pool and I was hanging out with my friends. And at about, the time that we would be done, the time that we told my mom's friend that who would come to pick me up afterwards that we would be done, she shows up. And I'm like, hey, do you mind if I hang out for like 5 more minutes or, 10 more minutes? And she's like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. You go right ahead. And so I just stay in the pool. I didn't have a watch on me or a way to see the time because with my glasses prescription, I didn't have my glasses on in the pool, so I couldn't see the clock that was at the pool. So I'm just chilling, and I'm like, I wonder when she's gonna come back and tell me that she's ready to go, right?
Right.
Uh
She didn't come back for like half an hour.
Oh.
huh.
She comes back and says, "Hey, we're leaving. I haven't had dinner yet, and you've been in here for 30 minutes."
Oh boy.
And so I'm like, oh, well, heck, okay. So I get out of the pool, go and change, get in the car. The car ride back to her apartment, where she was staying at the time, was silent.
Ooh,
Not a
awkward.
silent car ride.
And I'm like,
The Sully meme.
I felt terrible. I still feel terrible about this to this day. When we go and hang out with her, she probably
Sitting
doesn't
there going,
remember
"That
at this
kid."
point.
That unpunctual kid.
I'm like, because to be fair, my parents would normally be like, it's a negotiate. It's like, hey, can I stay 5 more minutes? They'll come back 10 minutes later. It's like, hey, are you ready to go? I'm like, sure, I'm ready to go. And that's fine, right? I don't. That did not translate to this person, and I'm like, I'm very sorry.
Oopsies.
Big apologies.
Indeed.
Pizzoies.
Deeb. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh, I have a family one. It's one that we kind of tease my mom about.
Okay.
So
Hold on, I gotta get my tea.
okay,
Ooh.
For tea time.
tea time.
Tea
Ooh, tea time.
Tea time.
And she'll be fine with me telling this story, I'm sure. But
Oh, okay.
when when she and my dad first got married, they were trying to they bought a house together, and they were trying to furnish said house because my mom had been living in her parents' old house with her siblings. So she only had the stuff that was in her room. And my dad had, you know, his own apartment, and he had furniture and stuff like that, but it wasn't enough to like fill a whole house, right? And my mom, it was like, you know, the dawning of the 90s internet, the beginning of the .com boom kind of situation, right? My mom found a rug online. And it was a beautiful Turkish rug. And it was the perfect size. It was like 5 foot by 7 foot, you know, because it's for the living room. It's supposed to be a nice big rug. Beautiful red and gold woven kind of, you know, the intricate patterns that Turkish rugs tend to have.
Right.
And so my mom consulted my dad. It was like, you know, it was within their price point too, which was crazy at the time, because I think that her price point was like $50, $100, something like that. So she was like, "Oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is exactly what I need, and it's perfect price. I'm gonna buy this." She asks my dad, and my dad is like, "Of course, yeah, go for it." And then, you know, it's the days before Amazon, so they sit back and they wait. And you would think if this was a scam, right, they wouldn't send anything. But the few weeks later...
I know
it was like,
is.
Please tell me it was like a napkin or something.
Oh, I remember what this is now.
It is the size of a mouse pad. It is 5 inches by 7 inches. And we still have it because we use it as a mouse pad. And it's beautiful. It's this beautiful little, you know, silky woven rug. But it was mislabeled. It was 5 inches by 7 inches instead of 5 foot by 7 foot.
Oh no.
What is this? A center for ants?
And when it came in, my mom was like, "This cannot be what I ordered. This is not it." And my dad just died laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing. Both of them think it's really funny now, but my mom was so mad.
I feel like I've seen so many stories like that from like Temu.
Yes.
Where like it'll be like a chair or like a couch or something. It's just like a tiny little model size or something.
It's
like for a dollhouse.
It's exactly that, but vintage now. Vintage
tiny mouse pad rug.
Yes.
Thing.
How old does something have to be in order to be considered vintage?
There was a set year for it.
Believe it's. I think for cars, it's
between 20 to 100.
At least 20 years, but less than 100 years.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's retro. I love the ripple effects when each of you is just a cascade of retro.
Retro.
See, it wasn't that organized that time.
Oh, pardon me for not organizing.
Here, I'll try again.
No.
Retro.
Nope. Messed it up again. One more time. Retro. Nope. It'll never work when you plan it.
All right. We're just not planning it. We're going to hop in. Ready? Go.
Ready. Retro.
What the hell is happening?
Obviously, retro is happening.
Retro.
It almost sounds like we're saying retro.
Retro
raggy.
Retro raggy.
Retro raggy.
Retro raggy.
Ada, didn't you say you had one more story
Oh.
or happenings?
I think I did, and then I think I lost it.
It was.
I
It had something to do with dating apps.
That's right. Dating
Oh.
apps.
Please tell me you got catfished by some lady man from I don't even know where.
No,
Thailand?
because I'm
There you go.
a
Yeah, it
little
was
more.
Thailand.
I'm a little smarter than that. Um,
I didn't say anything.
you did. I heard you
I-
through your not words and your not voice. That's right. I can read
You're
brains
not.
from across spaces.
I feel like this was discussed in the last episode, and I'm mildly concerned now. Weren't you the one that decided to wield and control the telepathy, but only in animal sounds?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You were the only one who decided that you would learn to control this power, and then you're over here and you're like, I can read your mind.
Oh no.
I don't like what's being threatened here. Scared.
You should be.
Gracious.
Anyway,
So, anyhow, I try to go because I have certain standards that I would like to establish. For those of y'all that don't know, because we have dipped so much into it, I am a Christian.
shock and awe.
Oh,
I
no.
know, amazing.
Podcast is over. We're all canceled. Everyone go home.
Lord.
It's time to go home and rethink your life.
Anyhow, so I find one that is. It used to be called something else, but it is now just called Christian dating app.
At least you'll have no confusion as to what it is, unlike the Batman fanfic.
What denomination is it, RJ? Tell me.
Yes.
Ah.
So, anyhow, I'm thinking, well, this has some good reviews and it's been downloaded by a lot of people. Let's find out. And I look, and they're all bots. You know, like dead internet theory? You could really feel that in there.
Oh no.
There's the meme of the dude that's like, say potato.
Say potato.
Yes.
Have y'all seen that? I
I've seen it.
use that as a serious litmus test. So there's this guy that was on a dating app, and this girl was like, "Oh, I think you're really interesting," and the guy goes, "Say potato," and there are 3 or 4 sentences that go by that are obviously written by a bot, and he's just like, come on, say potato,
Hey, potato, please,
please.
restore my
say
faith in humanity. Just say potato.
And they don't say potato.
Nope, not even.
So I use that as a litmus test. For I won't use potato immediately, but I'll do just little stupid tests because it's like I don't want to have someone with a robot going in there going like, "Hey, cutie, I need $10." Because a lot of them, they ask for money, and it's just like, you're a horrible person. Or you're a robot.
Or
Or
worse,
both.
not even a person.
There was someone I did find on there, and the only way I found them, and just to let y'all know, it didn't work out. We're not together. We're friends, though. And the only way I found them, they were the only profile picture where they were not smiling. It was like, aha, this must be a person.
This has to be a bot would never post a profile picture just completely expressionless.
That's
They can't get
what
out of
it
that.
was. It was expression.
Oh Lord.
And
Oh
it turned out that
no.
that was a person, and a very, very nice person, very good friend. And it was just like, yes, my intuition was correct.
I always thought that was really funny back in my online dating days when you just see a profile that's just blatantly fake. And you're like, who falls for this, man?
A lot of people,
Desperate people?
apparently.
Oh Lord.
Either people
Yes.
who are desperate or people who are internet illiterate.
So, yeah. Dating apps, very much a bait and switch.
Oh, yeah.
Stay safe out there, everyone. Don't
I
get
feel like-
catfished.
Dating can be a bait and switch, but I'm just gonna leave that one there. Just gonna
No,
leave
you're
that there.
so right, though.
Oh man,
There was a post I saw where it was a meme on it, and it was like, "Now you're stuck with me, and now I'm just really weird."
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Weird can be okay.
Yeah, no, I know what you're implying. The bait and switch game is hard in the dating sphere.
well, even like outside of dating, right? Some people can be like a complete bait and switch. Like we've had a couple of
yeah.
people on our Discord server who are like, you think they're gonna be cool and chill because they seem cool and chill when you meet them elsewhere, and then they are most certainly not cool and chill. Like they do things that are like guilt tripping minors into giving them relationship advice,
Yeah.
which did happen, and we had
coming up
to
with
stop that.
Random allegations
Yes.
against people who have literally
Oh,
barely talked to
yeah.
them at all.
They did this to me, and you go, "Who are you?"
Who are you, and why you blame me for this?
We've had some weird people show up, y'all.
Oh
You
no.
walk up,
Let me
Yeah.
tell
"Oh
ya.
hey, my name is," gets gut punched. Why?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? I'm fine.
You just get
Seriously.
sucker punched on the street after saying hello to someone. You're like, good talk. Have a nice day.
Talk.
I mean, that's how it feels with some of these people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
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 Well, we got a little bit more time. Anyone else got any more bait and switches?
I do have the original story I was planning to tell this evening.
Oh.
Are you going to tell
you
it? I
going to
think you
tell?
said you were on the
I
fence.
can.
about it.
No, it's a different one actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I decided not to tell that one entirely, but I have a different one, which was this brunch's original, but before anyway. I bait and switched you, RJ. Haha.
All right. So I have a story now.
Yeah,
not very long.
hey.
Gracious.
Rewind about
Actually, we're
3
gonna end the
seconds.
podcast right here.
Okay, what's Jay's
We're
story?
flashback to 5 seconds ago.
So, I work 2 jobs. One of which is at the university I used to go to. And when I first started working there, I worked in a different department than I do now. My boss at the time, when I first started working there, left, and they replaced him with a new guy from another university. And like nobody in the department likes working under this person. And so one day he asked me, "Hey, can you stay overtime like 30 minutes to an hour? We got contractors coming after our regular working hours and I need somebody to go sit with them." I'm like, "Sure, yeah, I'd be willing to do that. I'll take, extra like an extra hour of pay. Why not?" And 15 minutes into me sitting into the office, he sends me a text like, "Well, hey, they may not come. It like I'll text you and let you know." I'm like, "Okay." Another 15 minutes after that. So I've been sitting in the office for 30 minutes waiting for a call about these contractors that were supposed to be here at 5, which it's now 5:30. And he's like, well, they aren't actually coming today. They'll come in tomorrow. I'll have somebody else, to go sit with them tomorrow. So you're fine. You can go home. I'm like, you've both wasted 30 minutes of my time, and well,
30 minutes of pay.
company money,
Yeah.
right? Which I don't get paid a lot there. It's not that much out of company pocket anyway. But it's the principle,
Right.
like, it's not happy about that. I also have more stories about this boss having bait and switch, but
Bosses, dude, my last boss, not the one that I work under now, but my last boss was like that. Where, like, one minute he'd be like, oh yeah, we're family. If you have car problems, I'm a car man. I'll fix your car for you. And the next minute he's like, how dare you stay over 30 minutes, or how dare you start shutting down 2 minutes before closing. Yeah, he was scary.
Lord.
Yeah.
Scary man.
I
Was
kind of
one
have a
other
work-related one.
story.
Yeah.
Huh?
So I think I can talk about this one. It's with my dad, and it's not. We both bait and switched each other.
Oh, this one's bad. It's funny, but it's bad.
It's really funny. We laugh about it these days. I love my dad. So one day, because it's usually my job to mow the lawn, and one day my dad thought, you know what, I'm gonna be nice to my son, and I'm going to offer him an exorbitant amount of money to mow the lawn, because reasons I could imagine. And usually I'm agreeable, especially if there's an exorbitant amount of money when it comes to mowing lawns. So he walks up to me expecting me to be like, all right, money, I'm going to go mow. And saying, hey, Aiden, I'll give you $20 to mow the lawn. I look at him, and for some reason in my head, the entire thing was optional. It was like, but if I don't really need the money, then I guess I don't have to mow. And honestly, I don't really need the money right now. I'd rather just, in my brain, this is going on, I'd rather just be inside and keep playing my games. So I just tell my dad straight up, no thanks, I'm good. I don't need the money.
To be fair, I would have interpreted it the same way.
And this made my dad furiously angry.
Because to him, it was just like, screw your gifts. I don't. So I see his expression just darken immediately. It's just something I don't usually see him like make. He doesn't make grumpy faces.
No.
And he goes, well, now you're going to go mow the lawn and you will get no money.
And he said it exactly like that too.
Just like, oh no, it wasn't optional.
That was such a such an unfortunate miscommunication, though.
Well, here's the thing, though. I was standing right there, and the way my dad presented it, if Aiden was thinking with his big boy brain, it was not optional. It was a, hey, I need you to go mow the lawn, and I will pay you $20 for that. It wasn't a request, like, very.
Hey, would you like to do this?
It was very obviously a, I'll give you $20, go mow the lawn. So when Aiden said no, I was sitting right there and I was like, I'm sorry? It scared the crap out of me. I was like, what are you doing?
Needless to say, I went and mowed the lawn.
Yeah.
And I got $10 out of it, which was very generous.
Yeah.
Because Dad felt bad
Yeah, no.
afterwards.
From my
He
perspective,
immediately felt bad.
if somebody was like, and this is not like this is just how I understand, like would understand English. I completely agree with the way Aiden understood it originally, at least in my mind. Because if you want me to go do a thing, just say, "Hey, I need you to mow the lawn. I'll give you $20 for it." Make it clear that it's something that needs to be done. At least in my opinion. But
It was. I promise you it was.
No, it was.
It
I
really
was just
was.
a
Aiden
dummy.
was just being really dumb.
Fair
It's
enough.
Well, okay, we're going to close out with RJ. RJ, what was your story you were going to tell?
Oh, well, mine isn't really necessarily a bait and switch. It's just kind of along the work line. I guess it kind of was a bait and switch. I don't know on who, but a while back I worked overnight security at this. I worked for a big security company, and we worked my specific station. I was posted at a large corporate office for a large company, so it was like one of many offices. Um, so my job, I basically sat in a control room. I had security monitors, a wall of camera feed from all these different office buildings that I would watch over, um, and it was pretty simple. But so basically, I'd been working there for a little bit, and I needed some time off because my family and I were going out of state for vacation, and I gave them I want to say like a month advance notice because I needed like a whole week off, so it was like 5 days. No PTO or anything, just needed time off. And I spoke to my supervisor about it, and she was like, "Yeah, not a problem. Just go ahead and request it off, whatever." So I requested the time off, and she had said something to the extent of, "Just go ahead and request it off. I just need to make sure that there's going to be enough people to cover it." And I was like, "Well, that's fine. Just let me know before XYZ date because I need to know because my family's waiting on an answer because we all had to chip in financially. So we were all paying for this because we went to like this cabin. So we were all paying for this cabin and we needed to have it by a specific reservation date. So I needed to know by a specific date so I could pay for this cabin. And so time goes by, didn't hear anything back. I didn't think to check, right? Because I assumed that if my time off was denied, they would have said something or made any kind of indication otherwise. It would have showed up in the computer. It would have told me whatever. Nothing, right? Week before this is supposed to happen. Keep in mind, I've already paid for this cabin, right? I've already planned for this time off. Week before, I look at the schedule. Sure enough, I'm scheduled the whole week through. And so I text my supervisor because I work overnight, right? She's not always there. And so I text her and I'm like, "Hey, I noticed that I'm on the schedule. I'm supposed to have that time off." And she was like, "Well, your time off request was denied because we didn't have enough people to cover for your shift." And I was like, "Well, I needed to know by this date if I couldn't have that time off. Like you all had a month notice. I really needed to have this time off because I'm now financially obligated for this trip. Like I'm invested in this." And so we kind of went back and forth and whatever, and she was being really difficult about it. And I eventually basically said something to the extent of, "Well, I'm not going to be there, so figure it out." And so I got the time off and I left, and I didn't stay at that job much longer because the management was not great. But yeah, so basically I kind of got that almost rug pulled out from underneath me, which I'm glad I did not because that was a bit of an expensive vacation.
I remember that job was difficult. Like, not
Yeah.
necessarily like physically outside of like trying to stay awake, but like emotionally difficult for you.
Oh yeah. Well, it took a massive toll on my social life, on my personal life, on my mental health, because it was difficult being in such a polar opposite schedule from everyone else. Because I worked, I think it was 10 to 7, so
Yeah.
10 p.m. to 7 a.m. or something like that. Um, and swapping my sleep schedule over wasn't as bad. It was just the fact that like on my nights off, I had such limited time with the people that I cared about, and obviously I slept through most of the day, so it was like it was really rough. And then that in combination with management and their scheduling, and there was a lot of like blatant favoritism in there, in how they divided the time off and stuff like that. Like they very heavily favored some employees with their requests off, which is part of the reason why I ended up leaving. Um,
Right.
I don't know if I should continue to talk about this. This isn't really on topic, but um, basically what ended up happening was a bunch of the favorite employees um, ended up getting a bunch of time off. And so what they wanted us to do was expand our shifts to help make up the difference. Because there used to be three, what was it? 3 8-hour shifts or something like that. But anyway, they wanted to do 12-hour rotations. And it was already difficult enough working 10 to 7, but like 10 to 10 was just huge. And at the time, my car had broken down. And so I was like, I can't make that work because the only way I'm able to get to and from work right now is because I have a ride that coincides because they have to leave for work. So they come pick me up and then leave for work after I've dropped off. And then they come pick me up after, um, or no, they drop me off after they get home from work and they pick me up whenever they're leaving for work. And so with the expanded shifts, I can't make that work because I won't have a ride here and I'm not paying an Uber for a 40-minute drive every single day for an indefinite amount of time. And they refused to work with me on it. And when I told them that I wasn't going to be able to work that shift, finally they were like, okay, well, can you make this work? And so then I was like, well, but okay, so you could have worked with me. You just chose not to. Like, why? So I ended up leaving.
Yep.
Long story short, there's a lot more that went into it, but that's the gist of it.
Completely understandable.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
That feels like the correct course of action to me. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
and with
Yeah,
that, I have the words.
All right.
Ooh.
Recap
Highlight real
words.
time.
All
Go for it.
right. This podcast today is brought to you by Batman Jesus, Mormon Batman, Planet, Panficception, Silent Car Ride, A Rug for Ants, Retro, Potato, Okay, Good Talk, Miscommunications, and Standoff.
Sorry, did you say planet?
Stand off.
Where did planet come from?
That was me. That was me.
Oh, yes, because that was still in the Mormon conversation.
Tony
Yes.
Stark, you could own a planet.
Batman
Kyle
places his
Austin
hand
too.
on Tony Stark's shoulder. You too have your own planet.
And 70 virgins. Wait, no.
I'm Bat Planet Man.
That's more. That's
Planet.
Islam. Oh no.
Take it away, host.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that our idiocy was at the very least entertaining. And I hope everybody has an excellent brunch. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Bye, all.
Hey.
Bye.